think that's a good place to start. What is it that you're doing? What it's probably this weekend, right?
It'll be this upcoming weekend.
Yeah.
So,
Heroes Con
right?
in Charlotte.
Yeah, Heroes Con. Normally it's Father's Day weekend. This year it is the week after Father's Day, obviously. Father's Day just happened when you're listening to this.
It's usually like the 15th or something, right?
It's a week later this year. It's the 20th through the 22nd.
Oh, okay.
This year.
All right.
You know, like when people have birthdays that coincide with major holidays and they kind of get cheated out of shit?
Of course.
That's what Heroes Con is like for me and Father's Day usually. It's like my Father's Day gift is to go to Heroes Con, but this year it's
But
like...
they never pay for that. That's not a
No.
gift. You do it yourself.
It's not really. But this year it'll be... no, so they got to come up with something real this year. You know?
Okay.
Now, at this point, obviously, I know what that thing was, being the Monday after Father's Day. No, I don't yet, because we're recording this early. But yeah, Heroes Con is this upcoming weekend in Charlotte.
Okay.
So it's the big comic book show,
Right.
the centerpiece of my year, usually.
Usually you assist with the artist auction, right?
No, I've been, like, for about, 10 years now, I've been helping with the Friday night charity auction.
Right.
Which benefits Parkinson's research. And proceeds go to the Michael J. Fox Foundation. And it's the Team Cul-de-sac drink and draw.
Right.
Which is just like it sounds. People come and they drink and they draw.
I remember one year you were handing out coasters, and they would
Yeah.
draw designs on coasters. They do that pretty typically, or was it just that one time I was there?
The coaster is the standard method that is used to sketch on Friday night. And so people come into the ballroom and they'll sit down, they'll grab a drink, and they'll start sketching away. I think coasters are like $1 now.
Okay.
So you pay $1, get a coaster, and then you can donate it to the table, and the proceeds from whatever it sells for go to charity. I myself have gotten a few cool pieces of art there. It's like a really
Just
good...
a few, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, sometimes things come on the table, and I'm like, nope, that one's not going to the Gen Pop. I'm going straight for it.
Yeah, that's where the Father's Day gift comes in. You're
Yeah, I guess
buying
so.
this stuff yourself.
No, I think the Saturday night auction is where that happens, because those are the ones that go for, like, humongous figures.
I thought it was kind of one and the same.
No. The Saturday night auction is a different beast altogether.
But it's still at that. Oh, that's right, because the Saturday one is actually on the convention floor.
No, they paint on the convention floor. They create the art on the convention floor, but it's still in that same ballroom, typically.
Okay.
But it's like larger pieces of art. It's not so much like anybody can come up and draw something and donate it. It's like these are the heavy hitters. You know, these are the guests of the convention who donate to the Saturday night auction. Now, not to say that guests of the convention don't donate also to the Friday night auction, and that's the best thing about it, is that you can end up snagging art by like a really well-renowned artist for way less than you might normally pay for it.
Right.
Because they'll just come and, like, they'll draw something, just bring it up to us like, hey, I drew this. And it's like, holy shit, that was Mark Buckingham or whoever is there just drawing. Like, Mark Buckingham was there last year. Richard and Wendy Peeney, who did ElfQuest,
Yeah.
were there just drawing right at the table last year. Charles Vess always has something for the Friday night auction, but it ends up going up on Saturday usually because it's just way too involved and good. But it's just cool. It's cool to be there. It's cool to see.
Yeah, so the Friday one, anybody can submit something.
Yeah, and I'm always working the table there. So I'm always wheeling and dealing.
But you're doing a little more this year.
Yeah, like we've talked for a few years now, just like about the prospect of me moderating a panel at Heroes Con, and I've always been like, yeah, sure, I'm open to it. Just let me know if you have anything that you need to slot somebody in for, and I'll, God willing, there's enough time for me to read the material, and then I can do that. And Seth at Heroes messaged me like last week, I guess, and was like, would you be interested in moderating a Saturday panel? I was like, sure, what is it? And he said, Chris Claremont and Art Adams. And I don't know if you guys know who these two guys are, but Chris Claremont wrote X-Men for 18 years.
The height
roughly.
of the X-Men.
16. I think he wrote it for 16 or 17 years straight from 1975 all the way up through 1991.
Yeah, pretty much if you saw an X-Men movie, it was one of his stories being...
It was, yeah, like Dark Phoenix Saga, Days of Future Past, those are all him and his artistic collaborators. And Art Adams, who really started producing art in like the early 80s, just swept in, and his style became the thing everybody was trying to ape going into the 90s. Literally, because he's well known for drawing monkeys and things, but just such a unique and wild departure from what had come before him. I mean, he's synthesizing things like George Perez and John Byrne before him, right? But he's putting it out there in a completely new and kind of unique way that people well into the 90s, from Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld all the way through to like J. Scott Campbell and those guys were really emulating. So needless to say, Claremont and Adams are like...
heavy hitters.
They're huge.
Yeah.
My thought was nobody wanted to moderate this panel because Claremont will probably just talk for an hour, and Adams will not be able to get a word in edgewise. They need somebody to go in there and actually run interference more than they need anything else. But I was like, God, yeah, hook me up. I will do that. I could go in there and moderate that panel right now. Like, let's just talk about Long Shot. Let's talk about the Long Shot miniseries for like an hour.
Yeah.
You know, I can do this. So,
well, who wants to hear about the Long Shot miniseries, though?
Anybody who's sitting at that panel probably does.
I don't know. I mean, Claremont's a big name, so do you have to decide what of his work you decide to talk about?
What I conceive of this being like is a conversation about the two of them collaborating. The Long Shot miniseries they collaborated on. Okay. They collaborated on a number of New Mutants and X-Men annuals back in the day, like those sorts of things. And if I'm not mistaken, and I may have to go back to the books on this one, but I think Adams might have drawn the annual that was the technical first appearance of Gambit.
Oh.
Mutant intruder neutralized.
The name's Gambit, mon ami. Remember it.
But yeah, I'm very excited.
I was going to say, that's exciting. That is pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Makes me wish I had made a good effort to be up there.
Yeah, I need to, draft some hecklers.
You think that's what I would do?
In advance of this.
Go up there and heck.
You suck. I know I've got some people from my trivia shows that could come out. And
I'm not even sure what I would do to heckle you. Dude, Days of Future Past, at least it's got some time travel.
Yeah, if only it were Byrne and Claremont, but I don't think the two of them will be seen in public together ever again.
Yeah. So when was the last time somebody like Claremont was there?
Claremont's been there the last few years, honestly.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, Adams has been there, I think, the last 2 or 3 years. Claremont's been coming. He's turned into a fixture.
Or something?
No, I don't think they are. Like,
because this is not a huge convention. We're not talking about San Diego here.
No, but as far as like the East Coast goes, that weekend, this time of year, it's a really big draw. So you get people from all over the place. And I think the only other convention happening that weekend is in Vegas.
Yeah, that's curious because
pick which one you're going to.
Yeah, I mean, in the 90s, I never missed this convention, and I made it periodically every now and then, but I guess it's been a long time,
it's
since
been a stretch.
Waylon was born. And
I think the last time you came was, 17 maybe?
Maybe. I mean, I came once since the time you and I met.
Yeah.
At the very least, because I stopped by the auction there.
And that was the auction. That was the Sunday auction that is on the floor.
Okay.
That I was just kind of hanging out.
Sunday
That's the silent auction.
Yeah. Sunday you and I spent the time walking the sales floor. But I went up with Tracy Yardley, who's the regular penciler on Sonic the Hedgehog at the time, and he had an artist table, so I had to hang out with you.
Yeah.
While he sat at the table.
Tracy's very busy all weekend.
I mean, I've got a lot of great memories with that convention. That was the one where Tracy and I had worked on a book called Nate and Steve, and we were selling our wares there and kind of getting our name out. And yeah, it's a different time, but that's exciting.
Yeah, it'll be a good one. I'm already very excited about this year. I haven't even, the show doesn't start when we're recording this, it doesn't start for like 2 weeks. And I've already dropped, I want to say $1,400.
Jesus. On what?
Commissions. I already ordered some commissions. So, yeah.
Wow.
But like, here's the thing.
I wish I had money like that just to drop.
I ordered it back in January. So technically it does't count towards my convention fund.
Oh, is that right?
In my head.
In your head. How about in your wife's head?
Shh, man, she doesn't listen to this. She don't need to know.
Yeah, right.
See, this is why it's like, if ever I could be like, well, I said it, but it was on the podcast. So if you really wanted to know, you could have listened.
Yeah, but by the time she can listen to this, it's too late.
Yeah, exactly. It's way too late.
Well, yeah, I guess by the next episode or the next time we're able to get together, I'll be interested to see how it went and what kinds of things you saw at the convention and stuff like that. Yeah. So outside of those happenings, this is the bonus episode for Frequency. And what seems to be happening is the bonus episode no longer a bonus. I think
it's just its own episode now.
I know. I think people are just expecting that it's going to show up. It's not exactly a bonus. It's just extra
way
work.
To go, Nate.
I know.
Now they think it's going to be there all the time.
At least we don't have to consume new things. That would be. I mean, I spend a lot of time editing. It's often a double up on whatever we may have covered the week before. But before we dive into what I like to call spoiled tomatoes, we're going to play again tonight. So we are going to cover that in just a minute. But, we mentioned before that we were going to call out anybody that has requests in the email.
Oh, okay.
I've got something for you. A letter.
A letter from me? That's impossible.
And we received an email recently.
Stop chewing on olives during the recording.
We haven't chewed on olives in forever.
I did last week.
You did. That's true. But outside,
chomping down on them.
Outside of that time, yeah, I need to break the olives back out. I'll definitely do it for Demolition Man.
Oh, sure. We should all get, what is it, Taco Bell? Which one is it?
It's Taco Bell.
In the U.S. cut, it's Taco Bell.
Yeah.
In the international cut, it's something different, though.
What if we did?
And we just ate Taco Bell. Oh, God, that's repulsive.
Whatever.
No. Not Taco Bell itself. Taco Bell is delicious, but I think eating it into a microphone is vulgar and crass.
That being said, as I was mentioning, we received an email recently with a new request, so I'm going to go ahead and read that out. New email from a woman named Sue Klinger. She says, just found your podcast and enjoying it so far.
Excellent.
FYI, I love the movie Millennium.
Yeah!
I'm a huge Varley fan, and the book was really great.
Oh, man. So got to read the whole book now. Short story. I mean, I like the short story a lot.
Is there an audio version?
Is there an audio version of...
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, she doesn't mention. But Sue, I don't know if you've listened, but we did an episode on the short story Air Raid. So you should go back and listen to that if you have only listened to the Millennium episode. We did dive into the backstory of it a little bit. Brian managed to get me to read that. So...
Yeah, managed. Tricked. Deceived him into reading it. That's the only way you can get Nate to read anything. Yeah, I mean... The cool thing about this is that no matter how niche we go, I feel like something is somebody's favorite, right? Like Millennium. It is not a well-remembered movie.
You would think, but it was...
It got him coming out the woodwork for this, though.
Yeah, and it was a listener recommendation. And, of course, Sue has said here it's one of her favorites. Continuing on here, FYI, I love the movie Millennium. I'm a huge Varley fan, and the book was really great. It answers so many of our questions. And by our, I mean, yeah, you and I.
Yeah.
And then she says, can you please do Future Man?
Future Man. Oh, let's go to the list, guys. Let's see if I've got that on there.
And while you're looking that up, I'll finish the email. She says, go birds.
All right, okay.
That's the true reason that I read this out.
Nice. Very nice.
Go birds, fly eagles fly. Sue, fly eagles fly.
EAGLES Eagles!
Future Man is not on my list right now.
I don't know Future Man.
And Future Man came out a couple years ago. It stars Josh Hutcherson was in it. And it was a TV series about a janitor who has to save the world. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that's the same Future Man that Sue is talking about here. Ed Begley Jr. was on it. Haley Joel Osment was on it. I remember...
So there's no movie that series may have been based on or anything?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just the TV series.
Oh, okay.
But good call. I mean, that is a really good call. How many seasons is this? 34 episodes. I mean, we could do parts of it, for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe we do like a pilot.
Do the pilot episode?
We're still going to do the pilot to the thing with the newspaper. What is it?
Early edition?
Early edition?
I mean, we could, because I mean, like, look,
It's still
frequency.
time travel.
It's the same kind of time travel frequency is.
Sort of, yeah.
It's messages from the future that impact the past, right? That
Yeah,
is
but
a
I don't know
form of it.
Yeah, but I don't know from whom to whom.
I mean,
know?
it's the magic of the free press. We don't really get to experience that much in this world. The magic of the free press.
I'm not familiar.
The free, the free press, newspapers.
No,
Getting to do whatever they want to do.
You've lost me.
Extra.
That sounds antiquated. Is that a real thing?
Well, it isn't anymore because the...
Finally, you get where I was going with that.
Who are the X-Men?
That's right. Nothing's changed.
I wonder if Bishop's trying right now. I wonder if he's out there trying this and he keeps coming back. Like he came back and was like, oh, it's 2017 again. Nothing's changed. Oh, it's 2024 again. Nothing's changed.
So Future Man, a janitor saving the world.
Saving the world here. That's all I know. That's really all I know.
From what? You don't.
I remember the ads on Hulu because it was a Hulu original, I think.
Okay. Well, it sounds like I don't know enough about it, which means it's perfect for the podcast.
Oh yeah. Anything we can ambush Nate with is always good. I'll put Future Man
that's
right here.
Yeah, like I said, this is one of the better things about the podcast is I'm exposing myself to new media. We definitely appreciate your message, Sue, and hope you continue to listen and spread word with your friends. The other thing that I wanted to mention, we did get a couple of comments I thought worth bringing up. A comment from Lead Sharp. He says, have you guys seen frequently asked questions about time travel?
Oh, that sounds familiar. I don't think I've seen it, no, but that does...
Is it a movie or something?
It's definitely something. Like, I can't remember the context.
He says, you've got to see FAQTT. It's a fan letter to time travel films. Just struggle through the first 5 minutes and beware of Britishisms.
Oh, okay. I like British stuff.
And then he puts parenthetical, is that glass dead? I don't know what
sold.
That means.
Hey, you know what? You know what's even better about this movie? It's an hour and 23 minutes long. That is like the minimum length required almost to be a feature film. My minimum length is the length of Dumbo, which I think is like 68 minutes long, but it's still considered a feature film. So anything that exceeds that is like, okay, well, I guess we're a feature film.
Right, yeah. Cheaper films really have to pad their runtime to get there.
Yeah.
But use a lot of slow motion and stuff like that.
Ooh, I think this one's going to move up the list pretty quick in terms of what we want to talk about.
Frequently asked questions about time travel.
I remember hearing about that and never, ever saw it. So that's a really good pull.
Okay. All right. Well, Lead Sharp. Look out for that in the future. And then we also had a comment from Adam who asked if we've seen or reviewed Primer.
Oh, that's coming up.
And I responded to that. I believe it's on the schedule. What are we talking about, near the end of summer?
Yeah, it's August.
August.
It's going to be the last episode in August, I think, will be Primer.
Okay.
I've been wanting to get that in for like a year. Now's the time for like a heady prestige time travel movie after all this summer stuff with like
after Demolition
Man. So
you want to talk about prestige?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, for different reasons.
Right. Definitely look out for that, Adam. We'll have that, like Brian said, sometime in August, I guess.
It's another special edition Blu-ray I own that I imported from like fucking Australia or something. Primer.
Well, as long as we're reading emails, Misty Zapst does mention that she does not have a Blu-ray player. So,
oh man.
So there's
I would like to know.
That's all she wrote to say was that she does not have a Blu-ray player.
I would like to know a percentage on this. Like, how many of you have Blu-ray players? How many of you still buy physical media? I'm curious about this because I mean, like, I run in circles. I don't mean I literally run in circles. I mean, I run in circles of people who still buy and actively support physical media, and I'm wondering. I understand that I'm in the minority. But for those of us out there who are recommending sort of off-the-radar movies and things like that, I feel like those are the people who are maybe more inclined to still buy physical media, because I don't know where you stream some of this stuff, right? In fact, some of the movies we've watched recently have been a little bit harder to lock down. So
yeah, for sure. In editing our bonus episode last week, I did happen to notice that the Time Guardian...
There's going to be a battle out there soon. Time Guardian
is in fact available on YouTube.
Oh, hot dog. Oh boy. Maybe we should do Time Guardian right before Primer.
Maybe. You were saying we've done too many movies like that, though.
Like dumb movies?
No, testosterone filled, I think is what you call it.
I think you gotta strike a balance. Like, they can't all be Time Cop. Speaking of which, that Riff Tracks live event is going to be happening in August too, or July is when the live event happens. And then it'll be broadcast in August. So come August, we'll have to talk about that. I mean, I'm going to go watch it.
You're going to the show?
No, just to the movie theater to watch the live stream of the, because they'll stream it to movie theaters, like one of those Fathom events things.
Oh,
so you can go see it at your local.
They'll do that around here.
Local cinema, but I'm sure they will. I think that's in August, though, so I will go watch
Savannah.
Time Cop in a theater with the Riff Tracks guys riffing.
Yeah, I'll totally do that if they're actually doing it here in Savannah.
So we'll have to probably record a bonus episode about that. I would think.
Yeah, I was going to say it may be a whole full episode, but we've already done Time Cop.
Yeah.
So thanks to those of you that reached out with the recommendations. We'll definitely look into that.
Good recommendations,
moving
guys.
Forward.
Keep those coming. Yeah.
Keep them coming. Okay, so going back to Frequency, we're going to play this Spoiled Tomatoes game again.
I love that we're doing this after we're talking about all this other stuff, because now I can barely remember Frequency.
Perfect.
Who was in that one? Anyways.
Randy Quaid? No,
In the words of my generation, up yours!
That movie came out in, 2000? Even by then, Hollywood wouldn't have Randy Quaid. Like, as far as Hollywood's concerned, Randy Quaid perished in the alien attack at the end of ID4. Like, actually perished.
Yeah, he definitely went off the deep end at the very least. Well, remember the rules. I've taken down the scores. We're going to award Brian points for guessing the tomato score for the most recent movie that we watched, in this case, Frequency. We will ask whether this movie is certified fresh for 1 point. Is the audience score higher or the critics score higher for 2 points? And then he's going to guess the percentage. And if he can guess the tomato score within 10 percentage points, that's 5 points. Within 3 percentage points, you get 10 points. And if you hit the nail on the head, you get 20 points. Now, in the rare event that you manage to guess the exact number for both the audience score and the critic score, that's an additional 50 points.
Million points.
A million billion points.
It almost doesn't matter. Like, it could be a gazillion points.
Yeah, it's like, whose line is it anyway, where the points don't matter. And just for people's recollection, The Time Traveler's Wife, you scored 7 points. Midnight in Paris, 22 points.
I did pretty good on that one.
About Time is 2 points. Free Jack, a big old goose egg.
Wow. Yeah, really.
That was
really
good. That one was
stumped
tricky.
that
That
one.
was tricky. That one was tricky. And then in our last episode with Predestination, you scored 18 points. Do you think you can beat that with Frequency?
Yes.
Okay.
18 point. I don't know.
Okay, well, is this a certified fresh movie?
No. I'm going to say it is not certified fresh.
Okay. No. Which is higher, the audience score or the critics score?
Audience score.
All right.
It's certified fresh, like you've got to be, what did we say it was?
I think it's
like
69 and higher.
69 and higher?
Yeah.
To be certified fresh?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Are you reconsidering?
It's like right on the fucking cusp. I was thinking of like, what's the one where they put that like gold seal on it? You know?
Yeah, that's what it says.
They
Certified fresh is what the gold seal says. So
it's 69 is the baseline for that? That's like an F.
it's better than half.
All right. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I'm going to stick with my original answer. I'm going to say it's not certified fresh.
Okay.
Damn it. No, I'm going to regret that. But I'm going to stick with my guns.
Not certified fresh. The audience score is higher.
I think so.
Okay. Given that, what do you consider the critic score to be?
I think the critic score is 68.
So, right on the cusp of certified fresh.
Yeah, it's like, because I was going to go either 68 or 73.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go 68 on this.
And if the audience score is higher than 68...
I'm going to give that 73.
73. Okay. Well, here we go. Is this movie certified fresh? Your answer was no. But this movie is, in fact, certified fresh.
I knew I was going to regret it.
Yeah. No points there.
I mean, it's a pretty good movie. I don't,
Yeah, it's really weird. I knew this one was going to be tough because it's kind of good.
Like, there's plenty to grouse about, but, like, at the end of the day, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think maybe it's just because it's Dennis Quaid, but I just kept feeling like I was watching some Disney movie.
Yeah.
A PG-rated Disney movie that would be on Saturday afternoon or something. But it's not really.
No, I mean, the characters chain smoke.
Yeah.
Thing.
I mean, it's not. It isn't. I think my perception of it was wrong. So I'm glad you're the one playing the game and not me.
Yeah.
The audience score versus the critic score. The audience score is, in fact, higher.
Okay.
So you're ringing up 2 points there.
All right. Here we go. We're on the board.
You're on the board. 2 points there. The critics score 70%.
Woohoo! It's
You
just
nailed it.
Fucking barely, man.
You nailed it.
That's good.
You guessed 68, which puts it within the 3 percentage points to award you a 10-point score.
All right.
And then the audience score, you said 73%. Audience said 81%.
Whoa!
So that is at the very least within the 10 percentage points.
Yeah.
Racking up another 5 points. Now, of course, you didn't hit it exactly, so those final two categories do not apply.
Right.
But you're looking at a 17-point score.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, you would have been right there with Predestination had you gotten the certified fresh.
Damn. Again,
extra point.
I knew I was gonna regret that one, but
yeah, and you put it 60. Yeah, you.
But
put
it was
at
so
68.
close. Like, I mean, it's like that's why I was juggling back and forth. It's like it's right there, you know. So it makes sense that it just barely got certified fresh.
Right. How did you guys score at home?
What? We're not playing, Nate. They said.
For those of you scoring at home, no, I don't. All right, so the way we usually wrap these up is to go ahead and find some really terrible reviews of the movie.
User reviews, specifically.
User reviews.
Didn't watch, didn't finish,
right.
Saw where it was going, blacked out for an hour.
Now, we like to find the ones where people really hate stuff.
Yes.
But unfortunately, I didn't review the movie. See, because I hate things.
Yeah, I get it. That's a pretty good one, Nate.
Yeah, thanks. But in reality, I had to just keep loading more reviews to find anything that was in the low stars.
I mean, 80%. Like, these
80%.
People loved this.
Yeah, right?
But that's what I was saying.
mean,
It feels like the sort of movie that audiences are really, really going to cling to. But it's just kind of crazy to me that, like, it was like it was. But going back to what I talked about when we did the episode, like, the audience for this movie is Garth Brooks fans. And they came into it after hearing that song 5-6 times, and they were like, I'm going to love this. And you know what? They did love it.
Well, I've got a 5-star review here that's probably worth reading by Ali A. Absolute master cinema. The relationship of a father and son is so heartwarming. I saw this movie when I was single, and I saw it with the eyes of a son.
I saw it when I was single, and I came out pregnant.
Now, I rewatched it with the eye of being a father. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
No words, a must-watch. I guess that's what you were driving at for the Father's Day crowd.
Yeah, I get you, Ollie.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Martin P. says, underrated.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent sci-fi movie with stellar acting all the way around.
Well,
historically set scenes. Yeah, right? That accent.
All the way around.
All the way around. Historically set scenes with all the trimmings, old scars, the way people were back then on the East Coast to an ongoing leap ahead to present day troubled culture and world. Plenty of action, heroics, adult scenarios play out.
Well, not the kind of adult scenarios you guys are probably thinking of, but yes.
Mixed up with the real depiction of hard-line, front-line, big city detectives going at it.
Still getting some adult action vibes there.
Right.
Hard-boiled detectives going at it. See, the first part of this review had me thinking, make time travel great again. You know?
Oh, gosh.
And now I'm like, wait a minute. Is there an undertone here I'm missing?
Smokehouse old school law enforcement situations playing out all at the same time. In my collection, I watch it at least once a year.
Hey, good. That's a pretty good review.
Yeah, that's Martin. All right, so I did have to try and dig around to find some bad reviews because those are usually more fun.
I gotta hear this. I
don't know if it's going to meet with your expectation. Ahmed M. did give it 1.5 stars.
Okay.
What do you get when you put good performances, an average and boring story, backed by a rushed ending? Frequency.
Oh, okay.
Not terribly creative.
I mean, the ending is kind of one of the most difficult parts to swallow.
Yeah, it really is. It doesn't work with the rules that we set up.
Yeah. But going back to what the other reviews were talking about the relationship, Ali's review about the relationship between a father and a son, that thematic element is what really drives the whole thing. And like, if that's the part you're really connected with, then I think you're much more prone to forgiving the movie, just the weird stuff that happens at the end. Because the emotional beats still hit.
They do. And like I said on our actual episode, I'm less forgiving of the things that I really enjoyed in Looper.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I'm allowed to accept it in Looper, but not in Frequency. I guess that's on me. I mean, I guess I'm just not being fair to the movie.
Well, they're being played in two different ways, too. And I think the way it's played in Looper it's like more effective.
It doesn't matter. When I hurt myself, it changes your body. So is what I do now change your memory?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess the last one I'll read here from Rotten Tomatoes is Sean I. An odd twist of time distortion in which, due to the inexplicable appearance of the Aurora Borealis over Queens,
Aurora Borealis.
a New York cop is able to communicate over a ham radio with his long-dead father 30 years in the past. The film can't decide if it wants to be a sappy paternal bonding thing or follow the more suspenseful path, and its main plot mechanism is clunky, underexplained, and inconsistent. It's also routinely telegraphed from beginning to end, with a narrow scope limiting its potential escape routes. Hackneyed, hammy, and haphazard, it plays like a bloated sci-fi short story in desperate need of revision. 2 stars.
Hey, no notes. I think that's
Yeah.
that kind of nails it. Like, realistically speaking, I think 2 stars might be a little severe, but I wouldn't make it a 3-star movie under those auspices. Yeah, that pretty well covers it.
It's a critical eye. It's a critical eye.
It is, and it's honest, you know?
Yeah, I'll give them credit for that. Like, it seems like the things that the drawbacks that we gave it are kind of those same things, those same signals, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, I was looking for bad reviews, and when I had no luck,
I made my own.
I had a little bit of luck. But what I ended up doing, I surfed over to the Internet Movie Database and looked it up there.
Okay.
And again, scored pretty well with viewers. The lowest one I could find was a 4 out of 10.
That's the lowest you could find was 4 out of 10.
Yeah,
That's
4 out of 10
still
stars.
not terrible. I mean...
No, it's really not. Randall Good is the reviewer on Internet Movie Database. He says, worst ending ever.
Ever. Randall, come on.
Not a bad film until the last 15 minutes, which were laughably bad. Hurried, contrived, phony, and gut-wrenchingly sappy. The basic message of this film is messing with the past will probably screw things up. But if you mess with it just right, then everything will come out perfect.
If you mess with it just right. Yeah. That's applicable to a lot of time travel movies. Let's mess this up just right.
We kind of covered that too. It was sort of like, well, the rules say don't mess it up, but you might as well keep going until mom comes back.
Right.
Oh, and one more thing. Why do so many movies deal with a killer? How many of you out there deal with killers? The film has an interesting concept, but filters it through yet another detective pursuing a murderer. Haven't been there, but seen that way too many times.
That's fair. That's totally fair. Why is there a killer in this movie is a really great question.
Yeah, it is.
Why did we have to make this movie about a murderer?
Because if we didn't, it would have only been like a half an hour long.
All right, yeah. It was like they wrote the script. It was 30 pages, and they were like, oh, shit, we need more than that?
Yeah, we definitely hit on
But what
that.
about all this firefighting stuff? Can't you just do some firefighting there? No. No, we can't.
Yeah, maybe mom burned up in a fire instead.
I think it's only gotten worse since the year 2000, though, as far as the proliferation of serial killers. Because now we're obsessed with true crime.
Yeah, true crime podcast.
Yeah. Now it's like we don't just see movies with killers in them, we live killers.
What are you telling me, Brian? That's pretty much what I have for you tonight. Remind me again what I'm supposed to be watching this week.
Safety Not Guaranteed is the name of the movie.
All right, so everyone come back for that. Safety Not Guaranteed, and a happy Father's Day.
Oh, yeah.
To all of the dads out there.
I hope you got everything that was on your wish list, guys. Like,
do you get stuff on Father's Day?
My only wish is, like, I think I ask for the same thing every year. All Hulk want is to be left alone.
You don't want a tie or a power tool?
No, I just want people to leave me the fuck alone. That's all I want on Father's Day.
All right.
No. Usually on Father's Day, again, bringing it back to the Heroes Con thing, usually on Father's Day, I bring Miles to Heroes Con on that Sunday.
Okay.
But this year, that's not going to happen.
Does that mean we walked the convention floor before you even had a kid? No.
Yeah. It was before Miles was born, so I'm saying it was like 17.
No, because you were talking about having a podcast about being a dad.
I wasn't I? So that would have been...
Maybe.
Was it 19? Was it as late as 19? Like the year before COVID?
Could have been. Could
have been, I guess. But wow. Yeah.
Here's your podcast about time travel instead.
Yeah. Womp womp.
Hey!
No, it's a podcast about time travel, but we're still talking about fathers and sons. So
fair enough.
It all comes together in the end.
It all comes together.
Our work is done. I move we adjourn.
You are a citizen of a free nation. Having lived your adult life in a land of guaranteed civil liberties, you commit a crime of violence, whereupon you are jacked up, dragged down to police headquarters, and deposited in a claustrophobic anteroom containing 3 chairs, a table, and cold brick walls. Have a seat, please. And there you sit for a half hour or more until a homicide detective, a man who can in no way be mistaken for a friend, enters the room. He offers you a cigarette, not your brand, and begins an uninterrupted monologue which wanders back and forth for a half hour or so, eventually coming to rest in a familiar place. You have the right to remain silent. Of course you do. You're a criminal. Criminals always have the right to remain silent.
Get it straight. A police detective paid government money to put you in prison is explaining your absolute right to shut up before you say anything stupid. Now, the man who wants to arrest you for violating the peace and dignity of the great state of Maryland says that you can talk to a trained professional, an attorney who has read the relevant code, or at least gotten his hands on some cliff notes.
The detective has informed you of your rights. He wants you to be protected, he says, because he says there's nothing that concerns him more than giving you every possible assistance in this very confusing and stressful moment in your life. Once you actually up and call for that lawyer, son, there ain't a damn thing we can do for you. No, sir. Your good friends in the homicide unit are going to have to lock you all alone in this room. And the next authority figure to scan your case will be a no-nonsense prosecutor from the Violent Crimes Unit with the official title, Assistant State's Attorney for the City of Baltimore.
And God help you then, because a ruthless bloodsucker like that will have an O'Donnell Heights motorhead like yourself halfway to the gas chamber before you get 3 words out.
Your history. And if I wasn't so busy writing up your statement, I'd probably tell you so. I'd say, son, you are ignorance personified, and you just put yourself in for the murder of a human being. I might even admit to you that after all my years working murders, I'm still a little amazed that anyone utters a word in this room. Think about it, son. When you came through those doors, what did the sign say? Homicide unit, that's right. Who lives in a homicide unit? And what do homicide detectives do for a living? You got it, Bunk. And tonight, you took somebody's life. So, when you opened your mouth, what in God's name were you thinking?